call, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. PSR is excited to present to you Last Call, featuring your boy, the pimp slap POD, Mike M.
Pimpin' ain't easy, but it's fun like money. Got bookies on the run, now it's time to get money. Not your typical way to ball. It's last call like some convicts waiting on the next draw. You can feel the tension. Did I mention? Fools better pay attention, cause we getting paid like a pension. T's on the ones and twos, we not the ones that lose. Mike Money's killers might even make the even news.
And now, let's get to the picks.
We be pumping! Buzz Force Radio, you know we be pumping!
What up? What up? What up? Welcome on into Last Call. Here we go. TGIFF. And you guys already know when we get past that 8-minute mark, we'll talk about that second F here. Great day to be involved in sports. We got ourselves a full Friday landscape out there tonight, and I'm excited. We got special guest here on Last Call. One Jose Four Fingers Bouquet's going to be making the appearance tonight. Talking MLB. That's the Friday night special for everybody. Of course, you know what happens here. Friday gets us to Saturday. Saturday means UFC. They're out there in Atlantic City. We're bringing in none other than MMA Jeff, our Friday resident there, to give us his favorite looks across the UFC board as well. So stay tuned. It's going to be action-packed. You already know what we're doing here. Only one NHL game. That don't mean we're passing. We dial in. You guys already know the deal with the show. We get one, we get two, we jam out. We make them plays. We fire off, and we kick ass out there. It's our advantage when there's fewer games, not the bookies. Then we're going to jump in. We're going to talk some college hoops. We got 4 March Madness games tonight, and full disclosure, your boy did not have the best college basketball night last night. But good news, the teams that I like aren't playing tonight. So that should not dissuade me from trying to help us find them winners tonight. You know we're going to hammer that thing out there. Then we're going to jump in. We've got the NBA. We've got the MLB. And then, of course, that UFC spots there. Spoiler alert. We've got ourselves another 3-leg player prop parlay for the NBA. You guys already know what we did the last time we had one of those things. Just under 6-1. Today's not as juicy. I think it's just around 4-1 if I'm not mistaken. But still going to have some fun out there getting that spot. And there's a double dip in one of the games. If you're looking to get a same game parlay going later tonight at home, then you already know you got the spot to get that done out there. If you're just rolling in, smash the like button for us. Help us boost the brand here. We're trying to crack the code here at 6 o'clock across this YouTube slimescape. That is a bunch of folks trying to come out with these last-minute angles and analysis for you. But you already know nobody does it better than this Pub Sports Radio community that we're building day by day, member by member. And I see a ton of new members out there today. So it's so exciting. I see J Dub in the house, Polo this, Polo that, Big O, Joe, Buddy, and Kelsey, all new members. Maybe some are new in memberships as well, but always so important to recognize our members out there. Love to see the green. You guys already know Jose and Jimmy the Bag giving out that cash earlier today. I'm going to have a sidebar with Jose when he jumps on here because I think I didn't even see my horse today. I'm not even sure. He might have been euthanized before he even got to the corral, and that's unacceptable. We need to have a better – listen, if I'm going to come in and try to bring the goods every day, then my horse needs to do a better job as well. It's just damn right disrespectful out there. Get sick just watching this guy. He's running backwards more often than he's running forward. I can't believe it. But nonetheless, we're going to get after it. You guys know what I said there. 3 things to do. Hit that thumbs up button. Of course, paramount. Every show out there. Very, very important, of course. 2, grab a pen and paper. We got games in action all night long, not just from the panel here, Jose and MMA Jeff, but everybody out there in the chat. The chat is sharper and sharper by the day. And you're going to want to jot them notes down there because everyone's bringing their action in here, trying to hammer these bookies and share their best looks with everybody. And of course, it's so important that you guys share your best action out there as well. You know the deal. We want to take the time to highlight everybody's best looks. We're all trying to cook the books, and it's so great to all look at the scoreboard the same way. Get that money in our pockets. So appreciate you guys making the time to share your best spots out there. Going to be a great show, and it's going to be a great weekend. Just lighter, longer here. I came back. It's still cold. We're still dealing with 40 degrees, but man, spring is in the air. The sun is shining, and it's going to be a lot of fun here as we get moving through the rest of March Madness. Then we've got, just 9 games left in the NHL before we turn it up for the playoffs. The NBA's got another 100 games or so, and we're just on our way. We got about 10,800 more baseball games to work through before we get to October and the World Series. So lots of fun, lots of money to be made, and we got to get to work. You guys already know how that rolls out there. Let's check out what's going on across the chat. I mentioned it before. Get them plays up there. We want to talk about it, recognize everybody's action, and it would be no show here without our guy Joe T rocking out there, giving us the early first look, first guy in, taking the opportunity to share it with you. He says, easy money this afternoon. Brewers first 5 and full game. Gave that best bet out on Jimmy the Bag Show. His best bet here for tonight. He's given us and by the way, cashed his best bet last night in the NHL before the show was even over there. Ottawa Senators team total, first period rather, over 1.5. He's going again tonight. He's got MLB, Yankees, Houston over 9. And then he's rocking into the NHL again. He's going back to take a shot. The Devils and the Sabres, first period over 1.5. Shout out to our guy, Joe T. Appreciate you sharing that for us. Perky says Brewers cashed. Oh, man, Perky. So much fun on X, man. See you go back and forth with Trisha M out there. Shout out to you guys with that Brewer spot. By the way, you guys know the deal here. Your grandmother's wearing your sister's panties. Again, play of the day, cash today. I think we're 4-1. It's unfortunate because it's a lot to type out. So we're kicking ass in that play, but it's a lot to type out. So we'll keep riding it while we're hot. Let's go. Let's keep it going. Shout out to everybody that got that cash earlier. And, them Braves, baby, says Braves about to cash 7-0 on baseball Twitter plays for our guy Perky. Bumps. Eating up, man. Not only is he an Olympic downhill skier, he's clearly a savant when it comes to that white baseball getting thrown across the plate. Let's go out there. He says he's moving heavy on Purdue first half and the money line out there. He's got Marquette money line as well. Betting big to win small. Not a chance NC State wins. Sorry if I'm speaking too confidently. Well, it's all about confidence when you're making your plays, Perk. He says, we'll also buy 3 points on the Marquette spread to win out there. Old he says, fly, Eagles, fly, man. Exciting times with that new goaltender they got. That dude's a tree. They're going to plant that tree right in front of the goal crease, and he's going to be ready for the playoffs. I just can't believe it. I can't believe it. But, hey, we'll take it. We deserve a break. And victory for USA. USA 1, Russia 0 this trade deadline season in the NHL. So NHL beats the KHL, and we are carrying the scoreboard for that one as well. Let's go, oldies. So smash the like, or Michael curb kick a straight cat. Save the ditch kittens out there. So funny. What were we live? I was just talking about curb kicking to one Jose Bouquet out there. So it's very interesting, oldie. That's a great choice of language out there. Subhuman Gotcha says, good stuff, Perky. I don't really bet baseball, but tailed your Brewers look. You're the man. There's Juggler 23. You guys know Juggler 23 brings in the wise guy action on the regular for us there. The wise guy overnight moves on the Cavs -7. The Nuggets -6. They've been on a cold streak the last 3 weeks, he says, after having killed it all year. So proceed with caution. Ebbs and flows, man. We got to stay in there. We got to manage them bankrolls to hang in there, but we do appreciate you sharing that action with us out there. Let's keep rolling out there. Perky and Subhuman going back and forth out there. My guy Bo Jackson in the house says, salute the pimp. Jay Peasy up there in the house as well says, how about them Braves? Let's go, Hot Atlanta. Spoil that Phillies opening day, but that's okay because there was cash to be made out there, so it's all good. Winner's Circle in the house says, hey, yo, he's got Edwards there over 35.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Coin says, what's up, Mike and chat? Let's have a Friday. He's got the Mets game under 7.5, cashed it to get his day started out there. So congrats to you, Coin. I jumped in on that first 500. I was happy to get that cash as well. Bo Jackson says, cashed on Strider, 7+ Ks. Nice work, Bo Jackson. And JP, he says, oh, snap, forgot to bet Purdue. You better get it in. Get that action in. It's a modest 4.5 against them Zags, baby. Zigga Zaga probably about to tap out there. Let's go. Kelsey's in the house. Says, Mikey, class is in session. Kelsey, congrats on going green. Great to see that. JPZ. Nice. It's cheaper now. Paul and Boats in the house says, let's go, Mikey Money. Big Scott 510. What up, Mikey Money? Let's get this cash. Bets I'm on for tonight. He's got the Diamondbacks on the run line. The Blue Jays first 5 and Ohtani over 1.5 bases. Interesting about Ohtani, I was looking at his RBI numbers tonight, and they were pretty attractive. So very interesting to see what happens there with that game tonight. We'll be talking about that in Major League Baseball. The season's just going, but we're rocking in and locking down some plays. So let's get after it. And Kelsey says, I had my first horse race. Came in 31st. You probably beat my horse, Kelsey. I think I came in dead last. I'm pretty sure. I didn't even see my horse. Sometimes it's out there in the front, and it drops off on the back. But today I didn't even see it. So I'm not sure. We're going to have to talk to the auditor of that to make sure that I've got the proper, maybe I'm showing up to tomorrow's race and there's not even a race tomorrow. That could be problematic. You're certainly not going to win if you're not there on the right day. So Perky says, always sharing on Twitter and reposting when I can. Pimp slap. Perky, you're the man, man. I love it. Love to see the action. Love to see the back and forth, building the community, taking over X. I love you guys working back and forth together, celebrating the victories as well. We got to let them know we're out here doing it on the regular. And Big Scott says, Ohtani's plus 110, plus 154 was a typo. All good, Big Scott. All good. Dan Kelly says, upstate in the building. Let's go, Dan Kelly. Who is Ohtani on tonight? Oh, man, that's going to be fun to talk about. David Burns in the house is watching from Cedar Hill, Texas. Great to see you, David Burns. There's Trisha M says, T-Money in the house. I love it. I love what you guys are doing there. That's a lot of fun to watch. And I was capping some games, getting the plays all written down, and I saw you guys going back. Made me chuckle, and we done boys. You already know that. So let's go. Abel A says, bets, Ohtani, Freeman, over half, hits parlay for a plus 305. Tell you what, I like that Freeman RBI spot tonight. Quite a bit. Let's keep rolling. Let's get after it. Abel A says, Lakers money line with the Zags money line out there. And there's Real Deal Prime says, Sabres money line, just do it. Well, we'll talk about that game. There's only one in the NHL, so you know we're locking down some action there. Jay Peasy, Marcus McCarthy, Lil Domo in the house. Darius Moore says, whoa, now, family, let's get this paper. Let's go. Lil Domo says, Mike Money, talk to me, baby. I'm talking to everybody tonight. We're going to get this cash. Put them bookies on notice. We're coming in like a bandit here tonight. Leroy Flood says, cashed on the Brewers money line and the under, and Braves money line and the over. Man, Leroy Flood, you're off to a day, my guy out there. Gotta bottle some of that up, and we got 15,000 more games to go in Major League Baseball. Save some money for the rest of us. Let's go out there. Dan Kelly says Donovan Mitchell points total is very low. Probably means you want to go under. Excellent intel from our hardwood expert there, and Dan Kelly. Subhuman says I waffled a bit in that game. RDP, good luck, my guy. Going to block it. And Morgan Spooner says 1-1 today. Took the juice on Seattle Mariners money line. Had the points with Creighton for tonight. Man, I wish I gave out that Boston spot last night as a play. I talked about it. I talked about it with C-Mac. I jumped on it. I was just, I guess I waffled. I guess that was a waffle. Is that my first waffle on the show? I don't know. Maybe it is. Let's go. Talk sports with JT out there. Fanatical Jim in the house says, let's get that cash, guys. And we got to get to work. Big show. Lots to do. Important you hit that thumbs up button. We'll cover all the action tonight. Of course, we're going to start with the recap of yesterday. Transparency is the only currency we got in this game, and very important that we keep it 100 with everybody. You guys know the situation. Let me start off, though, before we talk. Speaking of transparency and accountability, here's the deal. 74 thumbs up yesterday. 74 thumbs up. We made like 40 units this week between the guests and the plays and the parlays and all you guys in the chat. We got 74 thumbs up. It's unacceptable. We got to do better. We got 133 plus watching us. Got to get there and hit that thumbs up button. That's that little finger down there in the corner. You just press it once. It locks in the thumbs up, and it helps us keep this thing growing on the regular. Very important. We're going to be transparent. I'm going to hold you guys accountable. 74 is not good enough there. We got to do better. And, I don't want to start the show on that downer because it's been such a positive week, but got to do better. If you look at yourself in the mirror and you haven't hit the thumbs up button and you're making cash with us, then shame on you. Come on, you guys aren't like that. Help us all out. Help us out. Means a ton for us. We don't ask you guys for anything other than to hit the thumbs up, grab a pen and paper, and share your plays in the chat. So let's talk about this recap from yesterday. Pretty solid day. All in all, I mean, it was 6-6. We went 6-6 and we gained units. So, if it could all be that bad, right? We keep the positive streak going for the week. I think we got 3 winning days in a row. Not happy with the numbers. Didn't work out entirely the way I expected, but Florida Panthers on a Thursday. Cash it. Check the box. They're now 1-14 to the under on a Thursday. It don't make any sense, but all I know is I'm not getting in the way of it, and I'm not getting off the train at this point either. I mean, they lost, but they still covered the under for us out there. And the big banger, the Pittsburgh Penguins in the under 6.5. Cash it, plus 185 spot out there. Nice little, a little sweaty with these unders yesterday, but we came through with flying colors. The Carolina under 6.5. Cash. We'll take that winner as well. I think that was a 4-0 final. And there's that Flyers Konechny spot. Now, if you back bet, like I said, to ensure your bet, the Konechny plus 120 spot did cash. He had 4 shots on goal. We were looking at his over 3.5. That Flyers line, though, I told you I didn't want to take the -1. I didn't want to take the regulation. I mean, clearly it should have been the other side with the Habs, but unfortunately, we're going to take that L. But what we didn't do is lay down juice on that thing. We tried for the big score at plus 225. Hopefully you heeded the advice and took a shot with the Konechny over 3.5 shots on goal. He's just been firing lately. The Vegas Golden Knights plus 108. Showtime pick out there as well. Got that cash for us. So again, a solid night. The NHL continues to be rolling. It's so much fun. Shit the bed in college basketball. I mean, it's embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. I think I'm better than this in college basketball. Look, we cashed Clemson plus 7. They won the game outright. San Diego State, they fucking put a pipe to the back of my head. But it was only after Bama's under 174.5 threw the bag over my heid. So I took the bag and the pipe at the same time. San Diego State was a loss. Bama, though, man, that total shot all the way up to 199.5. I think they ended at 176. What a way to fuck with my emotions through the second half of that game. I went through the it's over. Do I have a chance? I have a chance to bag over the head, pipe in the back of the head. So anyhow, Iowa over 147 didn't get there either. Iowa State money line, great ad for that Iowa State money line. It was a bad day. It was what it was at a 1-4 spot across college basketball yesterday. Got to do better. We're going to try to do better tonight for you guys. Arizona under 8.5 was the first official baseball play for last call. That didn't get there either. Matter of fact, that was I double dipped. I gave that play out on Jimmy's show too. I feel like a fucking loser having a solid baseball season. Here I am talking about all these fucking losses. Anyhow, the New Orleans Pelicans did come through again. We just keep riding that train here. The Pelicans at home, first half. We took the even money play on that thing. Comfortably got it done. So that's how you go 6-6. As bad as it sounds, it was still, just under a positive unit. So we can't pay the bills on that. But we can still call it a winning streak. We're 3 in a row, and we're looking for number 4 tonight. So let's get to work. Got a lot of work to do. If you're just getting out of work, you guys know the deal here. Maybe you're trying to figure out what's for dinner. Pop that fridge open. Look in the pantry. That's on you. You want to figure out your cocktail selection. It's Friday. Everybody deserves a cocktail on a Friday. Go take a look at that liquor cabinet. Maybe you got to run to the store and figure that out too. Let us figure out where you're going to put your money tonight and try to get that cash here. We're working together to get the job done. And we're going to launch here. You guys know the deal. We start with hockey, put the skates on, grab the stick and puck. Helmets are optional here. We don't care about concussions in this game. We're going to roll out and talk about this New Jersey Devils Buffalo Sabre spot. Our guy T's out there rocking at the Spurs game tonight. I hope he has a lot of fun. And we got Jose Bouquet on the 1s and 2s tonight. So going to be a lot of fun to work with our guy Jose. We've told him the deal. You're going to come out here. You got to come in and give us a play. And he's got to play for us in Major League Baseball. So I'm excited for that. But let's handle some hockey business first. One game on the card. It's the Devils and the Sabres. Look, sorry, Real Deal Prime. Spoiler alert, I'm all over this New Jersey Devil spot here. Not a lot to say about this game in its entirety other than one team's a playoff team, and I think the other team's going to get bounced. That bounced is the Buffalo Sabres. And unfortunately for the Buffalo Sabres, they're going back to Devin Levi. He's rolling 9-8-2 on the season. I mean, he's a young man, right? He's in a rookie season. He's been banging back and forth between the AHL Amherst, and they kind of brought him back up to the show because, frankly, there's lack of options in there for goal in Buffalo. We love exploiting teams that have lack of options in goal because it does not set up well if they get shelled. Not only that, but we'll talk about his last performance in a second. On the other side of things, the New Jersey Devils are rolling with Jake Allen. 10-14-3. Shitty record. Not all on him, though. He's recent acquisition to the New Jersey Devils, and he's been playing pretty well. Now, his numbers with a 3.39 goals against average and a 90% save percentage, not on him entirely. I mean, he owns it. He's the guy putting the helmet on and standing in the crease. But at the end of the day, this trade and acquisition to the Devils is definitely a positive in this guy's career. You look at these recent performances out there for the Devils. The Devils, they got themselves back-to-back wins on the road. This will be their third road trip in a row. They blanked the Islanders 4-0. They whooped Toronto 6-3 in Toronto. Big deal there. And then we look at what's happened with the Buffalo Sabres. They just got busted up. In fact, they've been busted up 3 out of their last 4 games. They did beat Calgary 4-1 in Calgary. Big deal. Calgary fucking stinks. On the other side of things, they lost 8-3 to Edmonton. They lost 3-2 to Vancouver. That was a monster road trip. And you guys remember, hardest part about a 5-game road trip is that first game back home. That's why we faded them and went with the Ottawa Senators, and they got busted up by the Ottawa Senators. Now, the thing about that beatdown, It wasn't all on Levi. In fact, Levi wasn't even the starter. It was Luukkonen there, their ace in the hole, who shit the bed. In fact, what happened is after Levi came in, guess what? Surprise, surprise. He lets in 1 goal, and he goes on. He saves 31 of 32 shots. I might be the only guy in all of YouTube that's told you when the backup goalie comes in, you automatically take that other team's team total under as long as it's 1 goal higher than where they're currently at. Because that goalie comes in, you would think they'd be cold. No, they come in and they're hot. I don't know what's going on in the mental headspace of these guys, but certainly I think we've only lost on that strategy one time this year where the backup goalie comes in and we team total under after that. So that being said, though, you guys know I'm a big proponent when the headspace is off. When you're sitting there on the bench, you're expecting to sit there the entire game and watch a hockey game for 60 minutes, a subpar hockey game, mind you, Ottawa and Buffalo. And then you got to get called in. It just kind of messes up the vibe, right? It kind of messes up your chemistry for preparation for the next game. And now he's getting called back in there to go against this New Jersey Devils team that's, still battling. They're not out of it just yet. I mean, technically neither is Buffalo, but Samuelson, the defensive injury, big factors there. There's just a bunch of injuries up and down both of these teams, Dougie Hamilton. But I think there's enough here for the Devils who do like to score. They do like to run pace with their new goaltender in Jake Allen, who's been performing admirably, to come out there and get this win for us. And it's not minus 120 anymore. It's moving up. I see a minus 127, still within the realm. You got minus 127s, minus 130s, minus 134s, moving on up from a line that opened at minus 115. So, hey, it's moving in the direction we want to see. We've been cashing with that number quite a bit as well. That's going to do it for the NHL, though. JPZ, I don't have it in front of me. Let me see. JPZ says, what's the Devils road record here? Let's see what we have here for the Devils on the road. 19-17. Guess who's 17-19 at home? Oh, that's the spread. I'm sorry. That's the spread. I don't have their full records overall, but hey, you know what? It's a great Devil spot for us tonight. Real Deal Prime says New Jersey's banged up at the blue line. Sabres are scoring goals tonight, gentlemen. Good luck. We're going to agree to disagree. There we go. EQ coming in on the fly like our guys do in the chat says 19-15-2. Subhuman Gotcha's got a great look there. Peterka, anytime goal scorer. I do like that spot. I do like Peterka. That guy's been out there firing. Nobody told him the season's over, and he keeps going out there to pad them stats. So Paul and Boat says, shit, I'm on the Sabres, plus 120. Kelsey says, I hate Buffalo. Hope you win, Mikey. I mean, I'm down for the Sabres. They're just, Real Deal Prime says, Levi will hoist the cup for the Sabres in time. I hope so. I hope it's in our time. I mean, shit. They've been waiting long enough. Fanatical Jim says, Sabres 17-18-1 at home. Yeah, the Key Bank Center has not been great for them. They've definitely been a better team on the road, which kind of makes sense if you think about the chemistry of a hockey team. When you got a lot of young guys out there with big money in their pocket, they don't have any bills or overhead. They go on the road with some big fat bankrolls, and they go out there and they spend some money and have time with the boys. You can only be so lucky to get it done out there. Subhuman Gotcha says, sprinkling on Hughes anytime goal scorer. I like that one. And Holtz anytime goal scorer. Real Deal says this is a must win for Buffalo. It's a must win for New Jersey. I mean, there you go. Counterpoint there on that one. But I don't disagree. I think it's going to be a tight game. Interesting that it's the only highlight game or showcase game. I would expect there to be goals in this game. I do think there's going to be some scoring out there. Nani says, gotta pad that bag before UFC tomorrow night. You already know that. Let's go. Fanatical Jim says Sabres play the Leafs tomorrow. That's a big game for them. And they've been owning the Leafs this season in the series. So don't disagree. Little parched here. Had a few cocktails last night. Still working on rehydrating here, but let's transition. Let's move on over 7 p.m. We've got a couple college basketball games here. In case you didn't know, it's March Madness. Everyone's talking opening day. Snow on the ground up here opening day. How about that? But we do have March Madness. It is the season to get hot. We got to bounce back after yesterday's subpar performance. NCAA has not been where we want it to be, but we'll open up with this first game here. Just a smaller NCAA card for me today. Kind of spread it out across the board, trying to be equal with the distribution of my cash here tonight. So this NC State line opened up at plus 6.5. You see on the screen, it's now 7.5. 57% of the bets and 52% of the cash on this Marquette team. NC State dancing, one of the, surprisingly enough, the two worst teams in the tournament thus far, left and remaining, last man standing. The worst team, Clemson. They went out there and they beat them up last night. Now you got NC State with Marquette on the other side of what's facing to be a potential beatdown. with a total that opened at 150.5. Now 151.5. We got 60% of the bets, 70% of the cash on the over in this game. We do have correlated movement there. And I think the biggest thing going on for this Marquette team is the addition or reemergence of Kolek there. After the injury, he sat out the entire Big East tournament, but he's back and he's ready to fly. And both these teams have been flying as of late. NC State's got 3 of their last 4 games going over. Interesting enough, though, there was a push involved with that Texas Tech game for NC State. That total was 147, and it ended right at 147. So NC State loves to run pace, and I think so does the Marquette on the other side of things here. You look at their games, yeah, they've got 2 of their last 4 have gone over the number. That Colorado game was a barn burner, 81-77. They didn't cover the number in that game, but they did shoot over the total. They played Western Kentucky. That number was pegged at 157 because of the lackluster defense that Western Kentucky plays. Their offense could ball, but they weren't out there getting it done. And of course, the 157 goes under, but it was a 156 finish. So we've had these teams pegged with higher numbers, and I'm not scared by this movement to 151.5. It's correlated with where we're trying to go in this game, and it makes a lot of sense. You look at what the Wolfpack are doing. NC State's averaging 76.5 points a game. And when they go on the road, it only drops down to 75.6 points a game. So other side of things, when you look at what Marquette's doing, they're averaging 79 points a game, slight downtick to 75 when they go on the road here. 75 and 75 is 150. We're looking at 151. There's 151.5s that are out there now. These teams play fast pace. I was kind of perplexed to see everybody talking under in this game simply because the pace out there, you look at the adjusted tempo on the Marquette side, they're rolling around a 69 out there. I mean, these teams are just running fast and they're hitting the threes. NC State's been a team that's been out there balling with the 3 as well. So look, first official play for me, I want to see some points flying out the gate on this thing here. And excuse me. I do believe, let's just take a look at what the best number is that we have. It's 151.5, and we're sitting at a minus 104 on that half a point. So 151.5 minus 104, going to be an official play. I told you, we're trying to keep a tighter card here. I'm going to go a little out of sequence here, just a little out of sequence. We're going to test our guy here in this spot. 7:30, we got the Zags and Purdue. I can't help myself. You know what? Maybe I'm a sucker for punishment here with this college weekend, but I'm rolling in here. We've got the Zags opened up at plus 4.5. Frozen line, 55% of the bets, but 47% of the cash on Purdue. The Boilermakers, expecting the Boilermakers to go out. I mean, essentially, it's a coin flip. The money's kind of equal on both sides. Always a little suspect when you kind of see that out there. Who's going to win this game? Who knows? The Zags have been balling. They've been beating teams up. I don't want to say what I was going to say. You can say like a baby seal on the beach with a club, but, maybe there's no need. Maybe that's uncalled for. Anyhow, on the Purdue side of things, we know Zach Edey's back. Everyone's talking Edey. In fact, Edey and Terrence Shannon have been some dudes that are out there NBA ready, and they are balling. Then we look at this total. It opens at 154. It's moved up a full point to 155. We have 40% of the bets, but 57% of the cash. If you guys are new here, when we talk about the bets and the cash, we're looking at those, and we kind of hear this common misconception is the word I was looking for there. No, I haven't started drinking yet, but maybe Fridays have to become a cocktail show. The common misconception with this bullshit about these cash flow splits is, it doesn't mean anything. You don't know. First of all, a lot of these companies are publicly traded. Look it up. If you're publicly traded, there's definitely going to be some information out there about if you're putting false information out there, generating buying habits on misleading the public. So that's aside. When we look at these numbers, we're looking at the bets being typically the public, teasers, parlays, same game parlays, $5 bettors, $10 bettors. Then we look at the money. The money is typically going to be where we see the bigger bettors, the guys coming in with a backpack full of cash, going up to the window saying, I want to drop 10 dimes on the Zags. And the books are going, okay, let me get the manager. Let's approve this thing. After they approve it, they come back. And then how do they react to that soup or that mismatch that's going on between the bets and the cash? We don't see movement, but we see a lot of cash on one side. It's a red flag. In this case, though, we certainly can have pros versus Joe situations. This Purdue spot did just move to -5 as well. So 54% of the bets, only 47% of the cash on Purdue. It did just move a half a point. So for any indication that that's a tell, then go for it. The spot that I'm looking for in this game, though, happens to be a total. You look at the way these teams pace out. First of all, Purdue's 11-0 to the over. When they score 95 points, on 52% shooting the previous game. And so I think that's a big opportunity out there for Purdue to dictate pace. We're seeing Purdue's the team that's now moving to that -5. And that's where the addition comes in for me when I look at these numbers. In fact, holy shit, 5.5's now moving out there as well. So there's some late steam coming in on this Purdue Boilermaker side. That's what we do here at Last Call. Try to pinpoint and identify for that for you guys here. This is a rematch. These teams did meet back in November. Super low score. They scored 136 combined points. Yet here we go with a total that's sitting at 155. And I think the biggest thing has to do with the ability for this Zach Edey offense to go out there and pop threes out there. They're popping threes like they're Vicodin on a Friday night. They go out there, they block Edey under the rim. What's he do? They draws everybody in to stop this guy from going out there and beasting everybody. And he just chucks it back to the wide open three. And they're just popping that thing in there. Everyone's getting wet. Splash, baby. It's getting wet underneath that rim. So I expect to see a lot more of that action tonight. Gonzaga scored at least 86 points in 10 of their last 12 games. And Purdue's got 77 points in 7 of their last 9 games. 80 or more points in 5 of those spots out there. I expect to see scoring. I'm adding this. It's going to be an official show ad for me. Question is, what's the number that we can get right now? I still see a 154.5. It's a little juicy. That's a little juicy. That's okay. 154.5 is -115. We're going to make that an official show play as well. A little bit of late minute ad. Nobody says we can't add these spots out there. And if we got to take a little juice for it, then so be it. We got ground to make up from yesterday. Let's roll on, though. The last game I'm going to talk, Duke and Houston. Look, I think Houston's going to beat the shit out of Duke. I just don't want to get my money on it. 67% of the bets and 85% of the cash. Haven't really seen any movement there. I mean, the money line's moved 2 cents, I guess. -192 to -194. Shout out, I know Dabby Cab. Go follow him over on X. He did drop his Houston first half earlier this morning, or maybe it was last night. It's hard to keep track of what that guy's doing out there, but he does like that Houston first half, so shout out my guy Dabby Cab. That being said, though, I'm rolling on to this Creighton, Tennessee game, and that's going to be a big spot to talk about. Some even Goucher says, at Pimp Slap POD, Friday should be a special edition of Last Call Cocktail Hour where we all share what we're drinking. Afraid it's just the bat for me tonight. That's a great idea, Subhuman Goucher. I'm always open for the suggestion box is always open, and I think the Friday show should be a cocktail show here. Maybe it's because I was in Southtown. I had fun with the gang, and it was cocktail shows for me. So, Friday show and Monday show for that matter. Cocktail started before the show. Maybe I'll wait till the show. I think we'll work that thing. Well, I said before, we get the plane in the air, we'll fix the wings while we're flying the thing. And I think that's a great wing adjustment there to get our altitude and attitudes right for the weekend. So let's talk about this Creighton spot, though. Creighton and Tennessee opens at +2.5, now has moved to 3.5. Kind of a reverse line movement situation. 64% of the bets, 50% of the cash on Creighton. So we got a 50-50 split with the money right now. And then we look at the totals. 148.5 has dropped now 4.5 points. Reverse line movement alert. Reverse line movement alert. I see coins on it. He says got some balls under 145.5 at -103 in his pocket. 73% of the bets and 60% of the cash are on the over. This is what we talk about. The money's coming in on the over. Do the books show any fear? No. In fact, they said if you like it over at 148.5, how do you feel about 144? You got to love it. Go get another 10K and drop it in on that spot as well. That's a big red flag. That is a big red flag. But the spot that I'm looking at in this game, I'll keep it short, sweet to the point. We got to keep it moving. We got a lot of games to cover. Not a ton of time left to do it. I'm riding this thing till the wheels fall off here. I love these trends. I love some of these angles, especially when we're on them early enough. And the angle we're going through is Ricky Barnes. What does Ricky Barnes do when he's coaching as a single-digit favorite in March Madness tournaments? What does the coach for Tennessee do when he's a single-digit favorite in March Madness? He doesn't cover. He's 0-10. Guy fucking sucks against the spread. He must put money on the other side. I'm going Creighton +3.5. I'm not so sure I'm dialed in with what's going on. Hey, Bama. Great job for Bama yesterday. They hammered them boys. Start to finish, they were really never in jeopardy. I don't think there's room for 2 SEC schools, though, as they move forward here. I expect Tennessee to get busted up in this game. But Tennessee did hold the #1 ranking for a minute, too. That being said, Craig Wood says he doesn't goddamn cover. That's right. That's right. He doesn't cover. I'm going with Creighton. I got the +3.5 now. I love the spot. Let me just double check and make sure that's still the best number that we have out there. And listen, I like Tennessee. I'm a fan of Tennessee. I like their jerseys. I don't want to be that guy to say it, but I like that burnt orange. That shit's sharp, man. That being said, though, this ain't football. This is basketball. Big East is a basketball program. Creighton Blue Jays 23-9. Tennessee Vols 24-8. Maybe they better leave that burnt orange to Texas and let the Creighton Blue Jays go out there. We know that they've been some Dragon Slayers this year, but they are the class of the East next to that UConn spot out there. I expect them to get the job done here. Give me the plus 3.5. And we got a minus 115 on that 3.5. So that will be the third official college basketball play. And if I got to go throw my nuts up because I go 0-3 in college basketball tonight, I'm going to be pissed. Just know that. Full disclosure. I'm not expecting that, though. I think we got some good looks here tonight with these games. Not going to get them all. And last night definitely was one of those cases. But let's move on and talk about some NBA. Nunez is wild as a mink and sweet as soda pop. What are you talking about, Jose? Are you talking about Jose? He is sweet as a soda pop, isn't he? Let's go. He says, Resmom says, never leave your wingman, Maverick, out there. Anthony Ramon in the house says, tell him, Mike, no fucking way I'm backing Rick Barnes in a tournament game. Took Creighton plus 500 to win the region. Let's go. Dan Kelly says, I'm tailing that coach trend. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, he's by the way, if you want to know what his number is straight up, he's 3-7 overall. So it's not even like he's winning those games when he's a single-digit favorite. He's lost more than he's won. I think it's a great opportunity for us tonight to take advantage of that 3.5. So going to be some fun to see how that game progresses. Let's move into the NBA. It's a tight card for me tonight in the NBA. Again, I wanted to try to spread it around the board. We've had some good success here this week in the NBA. I want to continue to move the needle, but I want to be mindful of where we're trying to put that needle. So we do have a player prop parlay that we'll jump into. And in the meantime, let's kick this game off here. First and foremost, I'm going to this Lakers and Pacers game. We got a line that opened at -2, Move to a +4. We have poor visibility into the cash, but we see the Pacers open at -2. They're now sitting at -4. Looks like there's some love coming in, 52% of the bets, but they've moved that number 2 points for the Pacers. Obviously, automatically suggest either LeBron or AD are not playing in this game. So we will take a peek. Then we look at the total. It's gone from 240 to 243.5 to 244s to 244.5 with 83% of the bets on the over. Quick scroll down here. We take a peek at what's going on in the injury report. As I look across the board, hey, how about that? I don't see LeBron or AD on this injury report. And this the Pacers free money tonight? Oh, man, something's weird there. I don't see LeBron or AD. The Lions move 2 points. That's just crazy. Then we got on the other side of things, really a clean injury report for the Pacers. All go in this game. Christian Wood's out for the Lakers. Whatever. Jared Vanderbilt. Jared Vanderbilt does like to shove that ball around and D up and get some of them rebounds, but not enough to slow me down in this game. Big O says he's got the Pacers first quarter and first half. Look, I'm going to the total in this game. Love this angle here with the Pacers. Pacers last game, you look at what happened with this team out there. Last game up for the Pacers, they lose 125-99 at the Chicago Bulls. Interesting enough, though, what is this? This is the first game back for these Pacers after that 5-game road trip. You guys know, I've said it before, worst spot to be on a 5-game road trip is that first game back home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They went 3-2 against the spread in those spots out there. Now they've got the Lake Show. But the angle that I'm hammering away on this one is what the Pacers do after they score less than 100 points the previous game. They bounce back. They score. You look at what the book said by putting this number at 243, not at 223, not at 233. We know the NBA has been going under like crazy. I think it's over a 62% rate that we've seen under since the All-Star break in the NBA. That being said, though, this number's been pegged high, and I think it's pegged high for a reason. The Pacers are 15-0 to the over when they scored less than 100 points the previous game. We got LeBron and AD playing on the other side. Fuck yeah, give me that over. 243.5 right now. Michael Robinson says LeBron and AD are both playing. Nunez says Tennessee's going to be the late night special. Maybe on the money line. Maybe a live spot to take him as well. But we will see what happens. Nonetheless, in this game here, it's so weird this line moved from 2 to 3.5 with no. Oh, man. I might have to add the Lakers to this mess as well. Oh, man. Let's put a pencil on that and see if we come back to it. 244.5 is the current number out there for the total. I'm taking it. It's moved up a point. I'm good with that movement there. I think I can explain that movement with the studs coming back in there. And I think we get it done here. I mean, the Pacers are a favorite. They're suggesting it's not going to be a blowout, at least against the Pacers. With LeBron and AD back in there, I think we see plenty scoring over 244.5. Again, 15-0 after they've scored less than 99 points those following games are these Indiana Pacers. So that's a Pacers-specific trend. Let's keep rolling on down the card. We've got this Clippers and Orlando game, 7 p.m. Eastern, another kind of early start coming up right around the corner here. And when we look at this team here, the Clippers, you know what? We've got borderline reverse movement, borderline. The Magic opened up as a 1.5-point dog at home. They're now a +2. We have 68% of the bets on the +2. We're starting to see it buy back. We're starting to see 1.5s, just as I say that. 213 is the back number, and it's dropped to 211.5. So we got a 1.5 movement to the under. We have 37% of the bets. We have 91% of the cash on the under in this spot there. And the line's drop. I mean, that's a lot of money to be sitting there on this under. And look, Clippers did me dirty the other day. The Sixers, the beat up, busted out Sixers. Why? Because they had Oubre back. They were all of a sudden a competitive threat there for the Sixers team. Bullshit. They shouldn't have won that game anyways, 108-107. We took that L on the -6.5. As salty as I still am, though, doesn't affect me when I look at this game because it's the Magic to me who have lost 2 in a row at home, but it was against Golden State. Previous to that, the Sacramento Kings was a tight game, 109-107. What do we got going on with home dogs? When they're off a home loss, as a favorite, they're 29-6-1 when they've got a total that's less than 221. 29-6-1, the home dog off a home loss when they were sitting there in that favorite role. They were a -4 favorite against Golden State. We do have the low total, and they're covering the spread by almost 7 points, suggesting the Magic are a live dog in the spot here for sure. For me, I'm going to take the +2. I got it at -109. When I'm looking at the value on this money line spot, we're sitting there seeing, there's a +110 out there. I get that, but it's kind of correlated for me. It's 19 cents for me to go from the +110 to get 2 points. You guys know it's a dime a point for me. It's a nickel a half a point. We're a point better to take the +2 than we are on the money line. If you follow that better, 1 penny better to me says the value sits there with the +2 in the spot with the Orlando Magic. So that's going to be play number 2. 2 more spots in the NBA. Then we're going to crack into Major League Baseball and get this show rolling. Next spot we are going to talk about, though, the proverbial bounce back opportunity. We look at this game here. It is late. There it is. 10 p.m. late. How about that? 7 p.m. on the West Coast. 10 p.m. for us over here on the East Coast. The Dallas Mavericks on the road against Sacramento Kings. We got this line opened up as a -1.5 for Dallas. We got a full flipperooski here. This thing went from -1.5 to +1.5. 67% of the bets, but only 22% of the cash on the Dallas Mavericks. 78% of the money coming in the Sacramento Kings. And I think I know why. We'll talk about it in a second. The back number opened up at 228. It's moved to 231.5. We have no visibility in the cash, but we do see 79% of the bets are on this over. Good enough to move it 3.5 points to the over. So what are we looking at with this game as it all comes down to it? Last game out is kind of the piece we're honing in on here. It's grown men bounce back factor. I know Jimmy talked about it earlier. I quantified it for him by way of the trend and the analysis behind it here. The Sacramento Kings got busted up. They were -1. That last game happens to be against the same opponent. Difficult to beat the same team twice. Teams just check the fuck out. They don't care about that next game when it comes. We saw this with the Phoenix Suns the other day. They just don't care. They're just done. They're done with this team. They're moving on to the next. And I think we see that situation here. Furthermore, when we got the situation where we've got the home team with 6 or more games in their last 10 games, off a double-digit loss when they were a favorite, are 45-22. Lots of games in a short period of time. They got busted up as a favorite. They bounced back 45-22 in those spots. Also, we've got a spot that's borderline applicable still in the spot, but before this line had shifted over, we had the road dog or short favorites, which very much is this Sacramento Kings spot, off a 20-point plus win or loss. Bad spot for them boys as well. So I'm jumping into the Sacramento Kings here. Dallas off a dog win, are 1-9 against the spread. They're also 0-10 to the under, by the way. So the under definitely not a bad look. You look at both these teams, 5 straight unders for the Sacramento Kings, 5 straight under for the Dallas Mavericks. The under's not a bad look in this game, but for me, I'm taking the grown men to bounce back theory. And I think it's a very good opportunity for us tonight here. The second spot against the same team. It's minus 113 for the money line. That's good enough for me. I'm not going to play around with the fuckery in these points. I'm just going to go. I see minus 113s, minus 115s, minus 120s. Look, that's all in the realm of money lines, especially with National Hockey League and Major League Baseball. So give me this Sacramento Kings team. Dan Kelly says the refs swallowed their whistles at the All-Star break. I don't disagree. Dan Kelly says Will Zalatoris was just 6 inches short on a 14-foot putt he needed to make the cut. He should kick his own ass. He's too focused on going out there being Happy Gilmore's caddy in the next Happy Gilmore movie, Dan Kelly. Oh, man. Dustin in the house. Dustin and Jamie H. Fade the overnight. Take the magic. I like that spot there, Dustin and Jamie. Kelsey says, Mikey, what's your best bet? I want to ride with on something. What's my best bet? I would say it's the Sacramento Kings team. Sacramento Kings would probably be my bet. It's tough because I play them all. I play them all the same way. I tell you guys exactly. I'm an advocate. No, a lot of people will go out there, and this is what threatens the industry. A lot of people want to fuck around and they want to do, this one's 2 units. This one's 3 units. Here's my 10-unit whale banger. Fuck your bookie play of the day. And then you look at their numbers and they're up like 2 units on the year. And it's like, I mean, you're losing. I do everything for 1 unit. I play them all the same. I don't care if your unit's $100, $500, $10,000. We do it all the same. We stay consistent with it. Edges or not, I'm not sharing plays I'm not taking myself, and I'm not in a position to try to say, play this one heavier. We did that one time on the show and we lost. So there goes to show you what I just like to keep them all equal. But if you ask me which one my favorite is, I would say that the Sacramento Kings is my favorite spot out there. Let's talk about this last game here. Player prop parlay for you guys. I do like this spot too, by the way. This is probably one of my favorites out there. We'll drop it in the chat for everybody to take advantage of as well. So you can see it's going on out there and it's popping off shortly. Our guy Jose's got it in the screen. It's a plus 355 spot when it comes to this opportunity for this 3-leg parlay. You've seen the names before. We're going to mix this one up a little bit though. We're going to go Siakam. We're going to take his 30 plus points and rebounds. It was 30.5. It's moved to 31.5. So we're seeing it move in the right direction. I just took it at 30 plus. I'm okay if you want to do 31.5. I just don't want to get hooked. Then we got Grayson Allen. You guys know it. We cashed with him the other day. It was sweaty, but we're going back to Grayson Allen over 2.5 3-pointers made. And I'm adding Durant over 6.5 rebounds to that prop as well. That's going to be a plus 355 spot that was over there on DraftKings earlier today. I probably should have looked to see if it was any better on FanDuel, but just for tracking purposes, I'm fine with it being 355. As we look at this one here, Siakam, you guys already know the deal with this guy's rebound prop. 7.5. Been great. They moved it from 7.5 this morning to 8.5. So that's trending in the right direction. And if you look back at what he did there, specifically the last time against the Lakers, he went out there and kicked the shit out of some things. 36 points, 16 rebounds out there. He's gotten 36 points and 12 rebounds his last game out as well. The guy's on fire right now. I love that 30-plus spot for Siakam. Grayson Allen, what do we need to say? He's been crushing the 3-pointers. 9 of 12 games this month, he's gone over the 2.5 mark. He's gotten 3 points or more, 3 or more 3-pointers in 7 straight games as well. We're going to go right back to our guy, Grayson Allen. And then last but not least, we're going to add KD. Play a little fucking defense. Be a leader for once, you fuck. KD covered the line 5 of 7 times on that over 6.5 rebound spot out there. And I think it's a great opportunity. You look at the Thunder, they allow 53.2 rebounds a game. That's good enough for 6th most in the NBA. Then you look at what KD did against the Nuggets. The Nuggets allow the 3rd fewest rebounds to opposing teams on the season. KD went out there and got 7 in the first quarter. Talk about an embarrassment out there. We're going to play recent performances, current games, and previous opponent spots out there. We're going to put all 3 together for a plus 355 spot to get this parlay moving there. That'll be a nice, fun way to close out the day, watching how that thing progresses for us. And let's see if we can't capture lightning in a bottle twice this week with that spot. We've been pretty fortunate this week with some of these parlays. Got that Pittsburgh and under yesterday. The previous day was almost 6-1 with that 3-legger. So let's see if we can go back and get after it here. Just a couple of baseball games, then we rock in and bring on our guy, MMA Jeff, to close out the show. Let's talk about the show, though. Speaking of Major League Baseball, look, not happy. Took that out. Great start for me in Major League Baseball. And then I shit the bed yesterday with the first play for the show. So not happy. I want to bounce back in this spot. Let me tell you where I think we're going to bounce back here. First of all, we've got, I think I'm a little out of sequence, so that's my fault here. But 9:40, plenty of time to get the games in. I'm not touching that 7 o'clock game there. I'll leave that, raise it for our guy Jose, the Pittsburgh and Marlins spot there. I probably won't have a lot of action. Well, I might have more action on the Marlins this season than not, but I'll have to see what Jose's doing with them Pirates before I decide what I'm doing. That being said, though, 9:40 p.m. Eastern, we've got the Cleveland Guardians, the Oakland Athletics. This line opened at 8, has dropped to 7.5. We have 80% of the bets on the over, yet the line's dropped to 7.5. Then we look at the money line. Excuse me. 142, minus 142 is what opens up for the Cleveland Guardians. This thing's dropped 15 cents. It's minus 127. That was math on the fly. That would be that might be compromised when it comes to the cocktail show. I might not be able to do the math that fast. But anyhow, 88% of the bets and 97% of the cash like this Cleveland Guardians spot, yet the line has dropped. In fact, if you look on the other side, the Oakland Athletics plus 120, now sitting at plus 115. Look, short, sweet, to the point. We'll keep a brisk pace. I'm going to rock these pitchers. I'm going to go Stripling and Allen. I'm going to go with the first 5 under in this game here. What I like most about this here, I think it's a great opportunity for Stripling to get his shit back together there. We know what he did last season. He had some ups and downs. He definitely finished on more downs than ups when it came to that Dodgers spot. But, here he is kind of playing with the new squad. On the other side of things, we've got for the Cleveland Guardians, this Allen situation, and I'm not so sure what's going on there. But I do know this. We don't know entirely what's going to happen with Stripling in the new barn. But I got to suspect home field advantage is not going to play that much. Check these numbers out. I think it was 2005. 2005 opening day attendance for Oakland, 44,800 people. Yesterday, 13,522 people. People just don't give a shit about this Oakland team, and that's why they're moving to Vegas. They'll get way more attendance in Vegas. It's going to be a ton of fun watching these games. That stadium looks awesome. But why am I going this way? Because the bats are cold for Oakland. Nobody seems to want to play there. They just don't give a shit. I would have thought, hey, we're moving to Oakland. Let me show you one part of the solution and not the problem. That being said, we're not seeing it. Shane Bieber shut down that offense yesterday, specifically for the Oakland Athletics. Now they got lefty Logan Allen coming to the bump. And somehow this guy's the number 2 in the clubhouse. I'm not sure. He had a mediocre year last year, 3.18 ERA. But look, what's going on out there? Lifetime against Allen. This Oakland Athletics lineup is 0 for 8. Not a ton of experience. I think he's got the advantage off the hop. I wouldn't be mad at anybody that wanted to jump in on this Nerfy. For me, though, I'm going first 5 under 4.5 with this Oakland game. Oakland, Cleveland, no scoring, low scoring. Let's get a Nerfy in there too. But the official play for me, first 5 under 4.5. It's minus 125, so it's a little juicy. Okay, if you want to take the 4, it's fine. I mean, I'm going to pay up for that push. I guess you got to look and evaluate how much that push means to you. But that's where I'm rolling out there to get the MLB card opened up tonight. Give me that Oakland Athletics. Let's go under 4.5. And let's talk about this next game because I know I'm head-to-head with our boy here backstage. He's silently biding his time to come in here and talk about it. Maybe he'll want to come in and talk shit about this one. We got this New York Yankees-Houston Astros game opened up at minus 124 to the Houston Astros. 84% of the bets, 93% of the cash banging on this Astros, yet they've moved it 4 cents. It's now minus 120. The total is climbing up, though. 60% of the bets, 48% of the cash. So the money's kind of split with where this number is going to go. I think it's because of the number being a 9, not because they expect some prolific offense. The 9 is now 9.5 in some spots at plus 100. I do think we see some runs in this game. I do think it's going to be flying out there. But, when I started looking at these two games, look, yesterday was definitely an embarrassment for the Astros. They go out there, they start off 4-0. Things you love to see, the Yankees losing the first game of the season. Then everything just shut down. They turned the lights out. Everybody packed it in and went home. They lost that game 5-4. That ain't sitting right with them. I expect these boys to bounce back and get the job done. Yeah, Rodon, I get it. You look at this guy overall, and he's looked okay during spring training. I'm not a big guy when it comes to the spring training metrics for me. That's kind of just bullshit ball. They're just trying not to get hurt, stretching things out. Maybe they're working on a couple of things as well. So I believe those numbers are a little skewed. But, this lineup for the Astros against lefties, I want to have my money on when it comes down to it. They were the 3rd highest OBA team against lefties last year, and I expect them to be motivated after taking that L last night to come out here and bust open. Now, they're going to probably sit there and say 4 runs ain't enough. When you look at these team totals, both of them are pegged at 4.5. The 4.5 for the Astros is minus 110. The Yankees is only minus 105. suggesting that who's going to get more runs. It's going to be the Astros. And that's where I'm going to put my money for this game. Bounce back opportunity. Not happy that they shit the bed. Just lost mental focus to finish the game out yesterday. I'll tell you two guys, I'm going to track these leans before we start giving them as official spots. We'll go back to this lean category, unfortunately, because it's a pain in the ass to track all this stuff. That being said, though, I don't want to come out here and just start throwing up a bunch of plays that I may or may not have confidence in. But Altuve and Abreu, for me, are two guys that I have honed in and looking at for the RBI game in this spot. When I was looking at these two guys specifically, what happened to my numbers? We were rolling out there, and I just lost it. It's all right. We'll get it back here. We'll get it back. Oh, there it is. What the fuck is that? Let's go out there. That's what it was. That's what that was for. That might be the first time that we've seen that on the show, Jose. Excellent breakout for you, my guy. Let's go. When I look at Altuve, though, Altuve's got plenty of at-bat experience against Carlos Rodon, 24 at-bats, 7 hits, a home run, and 2 RBIs, rolling off at 292. Then we got Abreu, and Abreu's surprisingly sitting in the 5-hole. He's only got 3 at-bats, but he's got a hit. He's got it for a home run and the RBI, of course, 333 against this guy. No lack of confidence between those two guys. Then I looked at the lefty matchup, and there's really not much of a dip when it comes to the lefties. We do see a little bit of a dip when it comes to Abreu. Tons of at-bats, 162 at-bats against lefties. He's still hitting a 235 with 25 RBIs out there for this guy. Then we look at the Altuve side of things, 99 at-bats. He's only got 5 RBIs. He's in the leadoff spot, so that one's a little concerning for him. We're going to have to pay attention to what happens between the 1, the 3, the 4, and the 5 positions. But for lean purposes, Altuve's plus 160, Abreu's plus 145. And we'll kind of keep our eyes on how that rolls out there for Major League Baseball. Let's roll on there. We've got our next game up. And I'm excited to bring this guy on. I see his cameras on there in the background. He's ready to go. And let's bring him and introduce him here for his debut to the Major League Baseball season with Last Call. You love him. It's our guy, 4 fingers himself, Jose Steak Bet Bouquet.
Mikey, it's nice to see you, Mikey. It's nice to be on the program. I hate to be head-to-head against you in that previous game, but I am unfortunately on those Yankees. But hopefully we're on the same side here together.
Well, I'd love to hear the breakdown. The next game that we've got up on deck, we're bringing the Major League Baseball ringer in to talk about this San Francisco Giants, San Diego Fathers game with a line that opened at plus 128 on the Giants, now plus 130. However, minus 152 for the Fathers. Now minus 134, Jose, almost a 20-cent drop. 73% of the bets, only 53% of the cash, like the Fathers, to get the job done. The total, however, starting to move up. 44% of the bets and 58% of the cash on the over. It's moved from 7.5. We still have 7.5s, but we're starting to see some 8s. 9:40 Eastern. Jose, we did see yesterday, this pitching matchup, this duel, certainly cashed my first 500, but the game snuck over the long stretch because of maybe suspect bullpens. I'm eager to hear your breakdown for this game, Jose. Welcome to the program. And I know you're going to be a big contributor going forward. So let's kick this thing off with a W. Tell us about this game. How's it going down?
Yeah, so you mentioned the total, and we're obviously going there. I'm going with the over here, Mike, and it's been a weird total, admittedly, and you mentioned you see it starting to creep up, and I saw the 8s earlier today popping up, and I was like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. Now we've got 44% of the bets, 58% of the money on the over here. Basically, here's the thing. Shout out to Moose Money, frequent viewer of the program, school teacher, pitching coach, Padres fan as well, said that, he was watching Joe Musgrove, seemed to be favoring his shoulder a little bit. And if you look at his spring training stats, he had 2 starts early, then a big gap, pitched March 13th, I believe it was, and then another big gap until opening day, which was I guess it wasn't a big gap. I think it was the 20th, the 21st he pitched in Korea. So, I just think he's a little behind, and I think he's going to be susceptible for the Giants' bats here. Kyle Harrison on the bump for the Giants. He's a lefty. Padres last year smashed lefties, and, I know Juan Soto's not there anymore, but he's a lefty, so they're just going to throw a righty in there for sure against him today. Harrison got crushed against these guys last year.
Yep.
So plain and simple, over. I'm on the Giants team total over as well, but I'm giving out the over here, 7.5. Got it at -125. And Mikey, I did just put in a parlay just seconds ago. I don't parlay very often, and this is not an official parlay for my record keeping purposes. But Lexicon just put that she or he is on Zverev and tennis. And I saw Sam Comer was on it earlier today, and I was like, okay, well, I have to bet it. And it's -155. So I just parlayed that with the two big favorites in the in baseball today, and just made myself a nice little parlay sandwich there. So it's Diamondbacks, Dodgers, Zverev for me as well. So that'll be nice here as well. But yeah, I just put that in. And
what kind of odds do you have on that? What's that looking to return you?
I don't know. That's a good question. I have to figure it out because my local, my local lives in 1995, Mike, and I don't do math well, and this doesn't tell me my odds for the fucking parlay. I just put 25 to win 60, 28. So if you can do the math there better than me, I was in double block remedial math, and I cannot do that.
It's about +242.
Sure. So we'll take that. Thank you.
Sounds good. Love the contributions. We will follow along with hope and admiration that you can come through victorious in your unofficial parlay. But I love it. I love the creativity. It's all about trying to get that plus money, Jose. That's what we do here.
Of course. Yeah, no, it's and Mike, you said you were on we talked before the show, Rays, Blue Jays. I didn't get your actual bet though I think you're on the Rays. And I wanted to bet it with you here. And I wanted to ask you.
I am on the Rays in this spot there. I typically when the plays pop off before I can get to them for the show, I try not to get into them, but a little bonus coverage for everybody there. Great Rays spot. In fact, when the Rays lose that first game of a series and they've got a 3-game or longer series, they're 12-0 in the bounce back spot there. So, what's sad is yesterday, Jose, speaking of Jose, Barrios, how about this guy? When he's in the dog roll, 12-0 to the over. Now he's 13-0 now to the over when Jose's in the dog roll. Now, he didn't get it in the first 5. I know Dabby Cab, and I talked a little bit about that, but over the stretch of the full game ends up easily going over the number. So here's a spot though for Tampa on the other side of this thing where we see Tampa in that bounce back position. I was never a big fan, Jose, of the bounce back. I always thought, you show up every day, but I guess some guys don't have the same work ethic as we do. And when they show up, sometimes they just don't give a fuck.
No, that's accurate. That is very accurate. They don't have the drive that we do, Mikey, to show up every day. Say, hey, places every day. So, and I'm starting to counter. So you just have to want it, Mike. You just have to want it.
You got to go get after it. And, but I like this. I like this Giant spot, specifically. I know the matchup out there, but they've already seen this guy kind of come through the lineup once, and they hit lefties pretty well. San Diego does. So I think this matchup does favor runs. We saw it yesterday specifically. And, I will make a little official. We'll make an official gesture here. I'm that excited. I'm that optimistic about this leadoff guy. And the reason being that when you look at this guy specifically against Kyle Harrison, 2 for 2, he does not show any fear when he's staring this guy down. He's a righty, but he's facing the lefty pitcher. He does not care. He's 2 for 2. He mashed a home run off this guy the last time he saw him. Then you look at what he does against lefties. He don't give a shit if you're a lefty or a righty. He's got 158 at-bats, 46 hits. That's good enough for a 2.91, 4 home runs, and 13 RBIs in the leadoff spot. I cashed a ton with this guy last year. I'm going to make it an official play. I'm going to go with my first official RBI on last call. I'm going to go Xander Bogaerts. Give me the RBI for our leadoff guy, Xander, to get the job done. I love the runs being flying in this game, baby. X going to give it to you, Jose. X going to give it to you. Let's get this cash. I'll make that an official play as well. I love that over. I think it's a great spot to jump in, and especially knowing that we're looking at that over. I mean, there's a ton of guys in this lineup for San Diego. I talked about this yesterday with Sharpie. Tons of guys on that Cincinnati team that can get RBIs. Unfortunately, my Washington side got a little too cute. Not going to do that here, though. I think with this spot, you got Bogaerts, you got Tatis, Machado, Kim. Hey, Sung Kim's a show favorite. That guy popped a home run for me at like plus 750 to start the season off last year.
Love Ha-Sung.
You got Profar, you got Rosario, you got Azekar. I mean, there's just a lot of guys that can go out there. And what I like most about this is because those guys in the middle of the lineup are very capable of going out there. You got guys that hit 308, 302, 405, 556 against lefties. That means that Bogaerts won't necessarily be the leadoff guy the second time through the lineup. So he should have some meat on the base to be able to go pop it in there and get us that score. So plus 230, risk reward opportunity. I think it's a great position for him to go out there. He's already got the confidence against Kyle Harris and Jose. I'm gonna kind of endorse that over by going with the Bogaerts to get the run. X gonna give it to you, baby. Let's go.
You know I love Xander, so shout out to him. By the way, shout out to Paco Healy asking about Say Hey Plays. Say Hey Plays on the weekends, 11 a.m., Saturday, Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, by the way. And then Monday, I'm joining Mikey with Last Call yet again. Every Monday, I'll be here with good old Michael Moolah, and I'll be on a Medicate Monday. And then Tuesday through Friday, I'm on with Jimmy and Pete and Jimmy every day breaking baseball events. So those are all the show times. Mike, of course, doing Last Call on those days as well, Monday and all that good stuff. So can't wait.
It's going to be a lot of fun, Jose. I can't wait to work with you on the baseball card. I know we had a lot of fun doing it on Sundays. You know, full disclosure, I like to drink on Saturdays, and it was tough to get up and be ready to rock with you on Sundays. So, you know, that being said, it's good to have you on Mondays. And, you know, we're going to go out there. We're going to kick ass and take names. That's what we do, buddy.
Yes. No, it's awesome. It's going to be fun. And, of course, I'll have you on Saturdays, and I'll avoid on Sundays now. That's a mental note to self here as well. By the way, I just joined you live. I bet the Rays minus 122 full game. So
let's go Tampa Bay. Let's get that bounce back spot out there. And I see we got our guy. He's ready backstage. He's getting things rolling for us, Jose.
I'm excited. I'm about to tell some UFC. No fucking pressure, but I'm excited to bet these as well.
No pressure. You know, we're bringing in our show guy, winner of multiple Pub Sports Radio contests. You guys, let's bring him on. Let's welcome in MMA Jeff. We had last week off. I was out of town, but he's back. He's ready to dominate. And we've only got 2 weeks for Jeff before he goes out of country for his honeymoon for what feels like it's going to be about 3 months. So let's capitalize while we have him here. There's Perky Bumps, says MMA Jeff, MMA Ashley, top tier. We only did MMA Jeff today, but that is okay. Let's talk about this UFC card, though, because we are looking at UFC Atlantic City. I thought last minute about jumping in there and taking advantage of it, but unfortunately with travel last week, it wasn't happening. Good luck on this one. We got Aslan at 12-1, the light heavyweight regional European Western contender at number 12 against the number 87 light heavyweight and Anton at 8-3 as well here. Jeff, we got ourselves a little stand and banger opportunity. Turkey versus Sweden. This guy, of course, Ibo Aslan, the last Ottoman, making his debut off of the Dana White Contender Series versus a meatball that's gotten beat up in his last several appearances on the UFC. How are we getting paid in this fight?
I'm on Aslan. What stood out to me was, you know, again, I don't like taking those fighters off of the Contender Series for their first go around, but you know, he's ranked 12 in Eastern Europe. He's 12-1 as a pro. 12 of his wins have been by KO, and 11 of those have been in the first round. So his only loss was by submission back in 2020. Again, he's coming off the Dana White Contender Series. It scares me a little bit, but you know, as you mentioned, Anton Turkani, he's 0-3 since he came into the UFC, and he's lost one of them by KO, one by sub, one by decision. I think Aslan, I think he's the more accurate and powerful striker, and I think he's going to get it done in this one. And I picked him to get it done by KO.
I see you got a plus 105 spot for the debutante to the UFC to knock this guy out. Heavyweights should stand and bang. Fanatical Jim says he's with you on Aslan as well. Jay Peasy said Jeff got into MMA after growing up with Mike whooping his ass. Oh, man. We had some stand and bangers as well. Trisha M out there. A lot of love for Jeff in the chat. Joe T says, what up, Jeff? Wine Time says, Jeff, what's up, my guy? I got to hang out with Wine Time this past weekend. Fanatical Jim says, hey, Jeff. Perky Bumps giving you the love too. So lots of fun there. Lots of fun. A plus 105. This fight is a rematch, says Cameron Sinet. When did they fight previously? That's the question. Was it a Contender Series showdown there? I didn't see that. But Very interesting to see the knockout. You want to see this guy, higher ranked opponent coming into the ring. Let's talk about the next fight we got. Patrick McDonough says, I must lost by submission okay, I see. So he's going to want to stand and bang with this guy. That's my lack of prep for that. I'm just looking to get the plays and get the winners. So let's keep rolling here. We do have a ladies fight. Jeff's going to take advantage here. We've got Jandroba against Lupi Gudenez out there, 9-3. Jandroba, the strawweight number 6 in the world, going out there against the number 10 Mexican fighter, strawweight worldwide opportunity here. It's a prelim fight as well. I noticed you like to attack the prelims. Talk to us about this fight here. We did see that we've got a nice little win streak going on for Lupi. Does she continue her reign of terror here against Jandroba?
Yeah, Lupi's she's in 3 in the UFC, and she's not a very heavy striker. She doesn't have any KOs. She's got a handful of submissions. She's got a 4-win fight streak, and 3 of those wins were by decision. So she's obviously more of a grappler. Doesn't really necessarily like to stand and bang. She's looking to get herself into the top 5, as I think she's 30 years old. Barada there, she's 35 and submission specialist. So 35, as I mentioned before, generally on their way out. They don't make it to the 40s like the men seem to anyways. But like I said, she's a submission specialist. She's also, again, as a submission girl, she likes to roll around on the ground and do some grappling. 13 of her career wins were by submission. So I personally, I think Lupi's up and coming. I think she's the better fighter. Again, they both like to grapple. I see this one on the ground the entire time, and it correlates with the over, and from an odds maker's perspective. And the line actually shifted on my book from Lupi minus 205 straight up to Lupi minus 225. So, public and sharps are on her. I think that line's going to move probably closer to 275 before the fight actually kicks off. So I'm on Lupi by decision at minus 110 is where I got her. I don't know if that was last night. I don't know if it shifted at all.
Wine Time says, when Jeff talks MMA, everyone got to listen. Jeff's made me cash the last few months. And Fanatical Jim says this line is too wide. He's going the other side on the money line there, taking the dog on the money line. So going to be fun to talk about that fight. I know you got a parlay for us as well. So break it down. Let's hear how we're getting paid on this parlay. I'll drop it in the chat for everybody that wants to follow along as well. Looks like you're going to start it off. You've got Lupi as that first leg. Talk to us about the other 3.
I specifically try not to take the fighter that I put on another pick into the parlay, but I do like Lupi in that one. I think Ruzaboyev there, he's another submission guy. I think I don't have much of a breakdown in front of me anyways, but I threw him in there. I took Buckley as well. I got him at minus 125, and I saw plus 125. He's at a he's even money now, plus 100. And then I threw LGO in there. Again, he's another juicy play. But again, I think those 4 are going to win. And I slapped them all together and got a plus 520 out of it.
I'd like to see it. Plus 520 spot there. If you're going to tail along at home, it's giving you a plus 105, a minus 110, and a nice plus 520 to try to make some cash on Saturday. Should be a lot of fun. UFC Atlantic City looks to be lit. Those boys are doing lots of great things out. I saw a little bit of some of the promo pieces earlier today, kind of getting ready for it. So looks like a ton of fun, Jeff. Appreciate you coming on. Tell them what you got going on. Tell them where we can find you.
I'm going to be doing a recap tonight. Follow me on JM on X at JM Hockey 19. Find out where, I guess, ultimately, if you want to hear a full breakdown of all the fights, I'll be somewhere tonight doing that. I'll certainly throw in some LFA plays out for this evening, and then I'll probably tweet out some Cage Warriors fights before everything goes down tomorrow. And then you and I are supposed to be doing a show for live UFC and live all sports for that matter. That's going on tomorrow. So follow me, JM Hockey 19. Again,
appreciate it. Appreciate. Yeah. Well, we're there. Oh,
1-0 Devils.
Yeah, baby. Let's go. Let's get him, Jose.
Good news. It was good news. It could have been bad news. Who knows? Nothing. You never know with the breaking news thing. You never know.
I was eagerly anticipating what was going to be dropped there for us, and that's great news. Let's keep it rolling out there and get it done. So Jose, tons of fun having you hanging out with us today. I see you're working on the shelves. You got the flag hanging down there now, so we're
No, I can't. Obviously, I have that shelf empty because if I put like a single thing on there, I would collapse. It would just collapse entirely. So it's nice. By the way, shout out to MMA Jeff. Congrats on the sex on his honeymoon. Congrats on the sex. So shout out to him.
Oh man, you gotta know what to say. I mean, you said it all. You know, you find a way to succinctly articulate your point, and it's good stuff there. He's waving at you backstage there. He's saying, I think he's saying thank you. So excellent job today, Jose. We're going to eagerly anticipate your debut here with what's happening in this San Diego game. I'm excited now. I put it on the line here with Bogaerts there. So I believe in your over enough that I'm going to go and say Bogaerts is going to find a way to get us paid tonight. And if we can cash that with your play, we're going to get 3 units on that spot. So that should be a lot of fun to see if we can't find.
And we're cashing the parlay. Don't forget the parlay. The parlay.
I have not forgotten the parlay. I'm going to get that thing in myself as soon as we wrap up here. And a great job, Jose. Great to see you. I'm excited about the Mondays going forward and having you on with baseball. It's going to be a great time to work together and crack these bookies over the head. So thank you for your professionalism and your approach to life in general seems to me to be what I enjoy most about hanging out with you. So, and of course, the ride from the airport was huge. That was a huge pickup last week. I mean,
I haven't used the video. The video, I haven't brought it up today once. I didn't bring it up. So there's another thing.
Well, I appreciate that. So another thing I appreciate from you, my guy. But listen, let's give these guys a shout out. Let's put the bow on the show and let's get everybody starting on their weekends here. We got you want to shout them out in the chat? Your inaugural, your debut here.
Fuck yeah, sure. Shout out to everyone. AOD, Wine Time, who also got the pickup treatment. Shout out to you, Wine Time, Paco, Nunya, all you guys, Trisha M, Kelsey's in here as well. By the way, apparently, Jimmy and Kelsey might meet up because they're in Toronto. Who knows?
Oh.
Who knows? They're both Torontians. Who knows?
Up in the 6, baby.
And you're like 2 stones away from there, I think. I don't know how the geography works up there, but you're close as well. Who knows? Fanatical Jim, Sancho in here, JPZ. Shout out to JPZ. It was nice seeing him as well. Cameron, Perky, all you guys. We appreciate Joseph Thompson in here as well. The first one in here as well. And he was on the Brewers. I was on the Brewers as well, but I was on their motherfucking team total. God fucking damn. That just pissed me the fuck off. I was on their team total and I was like, oh, great. They're up 3-1. Let's just get one more for insurance. And these fucking assholes start trying to fight each other. I'm like, God damn it. Can we focus on the ball? Let's hit a fucking one more ball out of here. And of course, right team, wrong bet. But shout out to all you guys, Kelsey, Lexicon. Shout out to you as well. Hopefully our Zverev play cashes, and shout out to Sam Colmer as well, who I know is also on it.
Excellent work, Jose. Great job. You, of all people, deserve to have a glorious weekend. Cocktails abound. Get some planes in the air. Do your thing and unplug a little bit. You got to recharge those batteries and get freshened up as a daisy for a big week next week. So, what's going on with you this weekend? You gonna be floating around streams? You gonna kind of
Say hey plays 11 a.m. Yep, me and Dabby tomorrow, and me and Dave Rogers on Sunday. I'm gonna get to the bottom of burner gate, since everyone says it's Dave Rogers on all these fucking burners. I'm gonna look him in the eye and say, Dave, is it you, Dave? Is it you? And we'll finally figure it out, But yeah, we're gonna break down the card. I'm actually started breaking down the card for tomorrow as well. And I'll tell you, I love watching your Phillies and these fucking Braves play. So it's a very interesting time. Very interesting time to say indeed.
I'll tell you, that was a pleasant finish there for that game because I sprinkled that first half for the Atlanta side, but then I went full gate. I went Atlanta on the full spot there, figuring they were going to ruin the opening spot for them. And sure enough, they did. And we'll take that cash for the Braves. We'll keep this season moving. And I'm going to tell you, I need the Bogart spot now. If I'm going to drop a unit on this guy, he better not drop his unit on me. You know what I'm saying?
He's got a big one, so you can't afford that. You can't afford that. You absolutely cannot afford that.
Well, much love, appreciation. Shout out to everybody that's a member out there with Pub Sports Radio. If you're new here, guys, go out there, get green, subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on as well. If you guys are following us on X or Facebook, we love the follows. Move on over to YouTube. Every time we show live content, we do live streams, anything else rolling around the world of Pub Sports Radio, you'll be in the know. And support our channel every chance you guys get. 74 was the thumbs up yesterday for yesterday's show. We got to do better. We got to count on you guys to hit that thumbs up and help us grow the brand. Appreciate everybody, and I hope you guys have not only great luck tonight with your bets, but a glorious weekend. Enjoy the time away from work. Spend it with your friends and family, and get that cash, Jose. We be bobbing, baby.